Yo, what's up? This is Patrick from Guy in the Cube, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can make data more discoverable for people in your organization. Stay tuned. If you find this for the very first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date from all the videos from both Adam and this guy. All right, you're using Power BI and you want to create a data-driven culture. How do you do that when people, they don't know what data's available? They don't know where data's out there. Well, there's a new, I won't call it new, but there's a feature in Power BI. It's a data hub. And a lot of people don't know what it is, or they don't really use it to its full potential. So I decided to do a video to kind of provide a comprehensive view of all the features and capability of this. All right, so you guys know what I like to do? Instead of all this talking, let's do what? Let's head over to my laptop. And to get started with the data hub, all you need to do is hover over a few of these icons and you'll see one that's labeled data hub. Go ahead and click it. What you'll see, there's two sections here. One is the recommended items, and those are items that have been certified or promoted, or someone in your organization have recently refreshed or accessed this. And so you'll see that both data sets and data marts are contained here. Down at the bottom, you have the data item list, and you can see there's 3 different tabs for it. You'll see the all tab, which shows all the data items that you're allowed to find. So what it'll show here is data sets or data marts that you've been granted build permissions to, or data sets you have read-only access to. You don't have elevated access to the workspace like admin or member or contributor, or data sets that have been made discoverable. And I'll show you what that means later in the video. And then for data marts, if someone has shared with you, or if you're in a workspace that contains the data mart and you have admin, member, or contributor roles. So that's what's down here in this list. And so you can see there's a couple of columns: name, type, endorsement, owner, workspace, things like that. So that's the all tab. It shows all of them. And then if you go to my data, it shows you all the data sets that you own. And if you go here, it shows you all the endorsed data sets. They would either be certified or promoted. Now, if I go back to all data, I can filter for data sets. I can choose if I want to see both data sets and data marts. I can go here, click the details, so I can see, that it's promoted. I can see the owner. If I click the ellipsis here, I can analyze in Excel, create a report, create a formatted table. That's interesting. We'll come back to that one. And the same information is right here also. So you can see where it says share, view lineage, things like that. And this little information icon will appear. So I'm going to go ahead and click this if you've added a description to the data set. And so once you click a data set, it brings you to a different view. And so in this view, you can see, some of the similar details about the workspace, the endorsement, the last time it was refreshed. See, I had a little problem here. If I hover, it'll tell me there was an error. The sensitivity labels, the reports that's associated to this. You can actually share the data set. You can click drop down and you can choose start from scratch or as a formatted table. Now, what is this formatted table? You said you were going to talk about this. Let me show you. I can either go here and choose as a formatted table, or you may notice this over here. This is the schema view of this data set. I can expand this out and watch what happens when I start clicking a couple of columns. So I'm going to choose year, I'm going to choose quarter, I'm going to choose month, and I'm going to go customer, I'm going to choose full name, and then I'm going to go down to internet sales, and I'm going to choose total sales amount. And basically what I'm doing here is create a paginated report. The nice thing about this is I'm creating this paginated report. Doesn't even have to be a premium workspace or premium per user. You can actually do this in a pro workspace. That's right. You can create paginated reports in a pro workspace now. Do you know that? It's pretty cool. Now, imagine if I have a data set that has, more than the Power BI export limits. I can create this formatted table. I can click export and choose Microsoft Excel, PDF, CSV files. I can pretty much do what I want. Or I can go in the customize. In the customize view, I can change how this looks. I can say maybe I want a minimal look. Maybe I want contrast of alternating rows. It's not too pretty. I can add additional columns and measures. I can go in the reading view. I can toggle between the pages. Of course, I can export again. And then I can also download the report. Now you got to be careful. If you download this report, it becomes an RDL and you can start customizing it using Power BI Report Builder. But now this is where the limitation comes, where you must publish it back to a premium per user user or premium workspace. You cannot publish that report to a pro workspace. In fact, if you try to do it with Power BI report builder, it'll let you know. But just using the formatted table option, you can do that and save that back to a pro workspace. So once you're done, you can save it and then it would appear. Now, when I was talking about the data hub, there was one thing I mentioned about making a data set discoverable. Not only can you show data sets that you have access to or endorsed by your organization or data sets that you own, you can also make data sets that people don't have access to discoverable. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So take this data set, for example. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to scroll down and you'll see endorsement and discovery. Go ahead and expand that and you can see I've promoted this one and I've checked the box to make it discoverable. And then there's a nice little request access section where you can say, hey, just send the standard email, or you can customize it. I'm going to keep the standard email. I'm going to sign in as John Doe, and you can see I'm signed in as John right here. And I'm going to go to the data hub and you can see John's view. Here's the recommended content, stuff that's been accessed or promoted. And you can see all the data sets that John has build permissions to, that he has read-only permissions to. And then I can see that he can go analyze in Excel, create a report, create a paginated report, format a table, yada, yada, yada. He has elevated permissions on that one. But if I hover over these, you can see a little key. And that's an indication he may only have read-only access to this data set. And if he clicks this, then he can request permissions. But if I switch here, you can see this one gets grayed out. When it appears like this, he doesn't have access, but I've made it discoverable. So now John can click here, request access. I would get an email as the data set owner that looks like this. I can click this. I can go and say, all right, let's go ahead and type John in. John, let's give John access to this. We don't want him to share this data set, but we'll let him build it and we'll send an email notification. I'm going to go ahead and click grant access. Then we'll head back over to John's view. We're going to go ahead and refresh and go back to endorse. And now you can see it's not grayed out anymore. And then all those options are available. I've just enabled him not only to see the data sets that he has access to, but now he can request access to data. This is pretty nice. So are you using the Dataset Hub? Are you using it to its full capability to empower, to drive that data-driven subscription? I'd love to know. You guys know how I like to do. Let's continue the conversation. Where? In the comments below. If it's your first time visiting the Guy in the Cube channel, hit that subscribe button. You like my video, big thumbs up. As always, from Adam and myself, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.